The funny thing was we had other friends trying to get us to come to their churches and things, but it was in a school, and they met on
met on
Saturday night,
Saturdays.
and you know, because of my grandpa dragging me to church every Sunday morning, it wasn't a church if it wasn't in a church building with a cross up on the roof, and you
And
didn't
you
get up
weren't
early
meeting
on
on
Sunday
Sunday
morning.
morning.
And so, you know, that just never would fly with me. And, you know, we had that hunger for so long and just knew that we needed to be in church, and we wanted our kids to grow up that way.
And we knew we needed it. We just didn't know how to come about finding it. In the 8 weeks that we've been going, I feel more spiritually fulfilled than I did in 15 years of growing up in the same church as a child through my teenage years, where I was at church 2 or 3 times a week.
I'm more excited now than I've ever been, and I've gone to Bible study with my father-in-law before, and I've read parts of the Bible, and it just all kind of was just kind of like, you know, no disrespect, but like blah blah blah. You know, it never really sunk in.
And for the first time ever sitting in at Epikos, we have a vision of what we want our spiritual life to be like. We are so excited to read scripture and so excited to meet people and to share with people what we've found.
And again, our first time we walked into that church, and you know, it is the church that I want to help grow. I'm proud of the church. I'm proud to know the people that I know. I think Ron Gladden is an awesome man. His message that really had a hold on me is when you drive by and you see restaurants that says under new management or whatever, and I sit in my driveway every morning and I pray to hang that sign on there that I'm under new management, and my job, my life, and my boss and my CEO is God.
One of the things that I always knew was missing in my life is I had listened to people talk about being close with God and having a relationship with Him, but I never truly was excited about sharing what was going on in my life and how God was touching my life and healing me and giving me comfort and giving me peace. One of the first things I noticed when we were at Epikos is that first week that we went, we had just moved. We'd only been in our new house for not quite a month and a half, I think. And so I couldn't find my Bible that I've had for years. This one.
We're always scrambling trying to find our Bibles.
And so we just went to church without our Bibles, and so we're listening to the message, and Sam's saying, and you know, like he says to everybody, you know, we have this Bible under your chair, and please, if you don't have one, take it as your gift. And I didn't take it home with me because I knew I had a Bible at home. But my boys each took one, and my husband brought one home, and you know, so of course we're flipping through that during the message that Saturday. But I was inspired from the message to come home and read more, which I had never in my life. I'd read the Bible a lot, but I'd read because this was the scripture we were reading in youth group, and this was the scripture we were reading in Sunday school, and this was the scripture we were reading during the message. But I'd never just sat down with my Bible just to read it for me because I wanted to see what I could get out of it. So the next day I sat down with it, and I just, you know, based on the issues that we're dealing with, I really was needing some extra strength. And so I said a prayer and I said, Lord, just, you know, let me find something in here that touches me and that encourages me. On that morning, I read and I read and I read and I read, and I just couldn't stop, and I couldn't read enough. And every scripture I read, for the first time ever reading the Bible, it didn't seem like a foreign language to me. It was all written clearly and I could understand it. And right away, I knew how I could apply it to what was going on with me today, or what I needed to do tomorrow, or what my outlook for my future was. And it was giving me the tools to be able to do that. And meanwhile, another thing I'd never ever done, I'm writing down what scripture I'm reading so that I can tell him when he gets home, you've got to read this, you've got to read this. I'm just so excited. And everything I found that day was exactly what I needed at the time. And I think by the time I was done, I probably had written down 13 different verses or pieces of scripture and shared with him when he got home. But after I did that, I thought, what's with this Bible? This, you know, and so then I was frantically, I had to find my Bible, because why does this Bible make sense to me? And I knew this old Bible that I had didn't make any sense. So I started looking at this, and yeah, it's the New International Version, and I'm thinking that's what I have. But why does this make sense to me. So I was convinced, I've got to find my Bible. This has to be, they've done something with this
worded
Bible.
different or something.
It has to be different than the one that I have. So I'm upstairs tearing through boxes, and I finally find my Bible, and I pull it out. And my Bible, with the exception of mine being a study Bible, it's the same Bible as this. And even this morning again, which I've done several times when I was reading this Bible, I'm opening this one to the same page still, comparing the verses. And they're word for word the same, but this one just has touched me. And really, I don't know if it's the title, the story of God, or I don't know what it is, but it is. It is like a story. It has made things real for me. I can't read enough. I can't, get enough. And I finally, for the first time in my life, I understand how to apply it and how it relates to now, instead of it just being history, reading something from history. I have seen countless answers to prayer since we've been coming to Epikos, and I've really started praying again regularly. And I'm just so excited about all of it, and can't wait to see what happens in the next chapter.